Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Alina Dragoi.
And my name is Alexandra Breva.
We are students at our Lazar Secondary School in Oradea.
And members of the Erasmus Plus team of the project Foresee the Future. Thank you for accepting our invitation to answer our questions related to the history and development of tourism along the years.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Cezar Morar. I'm a doctor in geography. I work at the University of Oradea, Department of Geography, Tourism and Territorial Planning, where I teach various courses of tourism in my capacity of lecturer.
Okay. We know that tourism business is very old. Tell us something about the early history of tourism.
Well, the beginnings of the first tourist activities are connected with the first movements of the people in space. Of course, these movements, they didn't have a tourist character at the beginning. People were traveling for defense purposes in order to conquest new territories, to find food, shelter, or a better climate. This is pretty much what happened in the primitive commune, but the first journeys with the tourist character can be located in the ancient Greek, because the Greeks were traveling for mystical purposes. For example, they were visiting the holy places, or for recreational purposes. They were traveling longer distances to participate at various sport events like the Olympic Games. So I would say that with these activities, the Greeks extended their culture throughout the Mediterranean basins, and in this period of time and in history we can locate the first journeys.
Now, please mention some specific aspects of tourism in the Middle Ages.
In the Middle Ages, the perspective changes, meaning that the curative or recreational character is replaced by a religious character. For example, the therapeutic baths are now in the administration of the monks, and religious discourage a lot this travel to this curative bath, and the travel was replaced, as I said, by mystical motivations for travelings.
What is the novelty brought by the Renaissance period to tourism, to the movement of people, destinations outside the places where they normally live?
Well, Renaissance is a totally new period, bringing a new perspective over life in general, but also in tourism. It is a period of discoveries when people were interested in learning and understanding new things in culture, in science, in history, in society in general. And of course, tourism was also part of this Renaissance movement. For example, I'd like to give you one example, the Grand Tour. This was a tour dedicated to the young upper classes, British men who, after their graduation, so after they were completing their studies, they were traveling in Europe for a period of 2 or 3 years. And this Grand Tour was an activity of discoveries. They were trying to understand not only the geography of Europe, because they were traveling all the way down to northern Italy, and of course they were touching, let's say, Switzerland and the highest altitudes points of the European continent from Switzerland. So besides this physical geography aspect, they were trying to understand new cultures, new societies, pretty much to understand the European complex history and culture.
The Industrial Revolution marks a major turning point in history. What is the contribution of this movement in which machines change people's way of life to the evolution of tourism?
Well, again, the Industrial Revolution from the 18th and 19th centuries, which began first in Western Europe, in time it was extended throughout the whole Europe pretty much. This Industrial Revolution brought new things for societies, for economy, for life in general, because the old agricultural way of living was replaced with an industrial or new urban lifestyle. So people migrated from the rural areas to the recently established cities or urban settlements, because these new cities were places where new factories emerged. So in these ideas, people were having more time available for traveling and also more money, because they're having jobs in the new established factories. In addition to this, the invention of the railways, for example, was really helpful for tourists, because people were able to travel longer distances in lower amounts of time.
What can you tell us about modern tourism?
Well, the modern tourism is something specific for the 20th century, especially after the Second World War, when the tourism activity noticed a significant booming, let's say. For example, the total number of international tourists after the Second World War were 50 millions, and at the end of the century it reached almost almost 1 billion. This explosion in the international tourism activity is based on significant development of technologies, of economy, of society in general, also at infrastructure. For example, the fast planes were able to transport people between the continents. Of course, the travel duration was very low, so people were able to reach longer distances in very limited amounts of time. And of course, the mass character was added, and it's important to these periods because people were having more and more time available for leisure and recreational activity. And of course, the continuous increasing in their incomes is also very important, and all this led to the extension of the middle classes. And this is why we're talking that we're having modern tourism and the mass tourism in this second part of the 20th century.
It was a real pleasure to listen to this history of development of tourism.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and good luck with your work at the University.
Thank you so much, and good luck also to you in your activity and with this Erasmus project. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.